In Life is Strange True Colors, you play as Alex Chen, a young woman in her early 20s who spent many years in foster care and decides to go live with her brother Gabe in Haven Springs, Colorado. Gabe and the other residents of the beautiful small mountain town welcome her with open arms and finally make her feel like she belongs. But after a terrible tragedy, she starts to notice that not all is as it seems and tries to uncover the town's secrets. Just like the protagonists of previous games in the Life is Strange series, Alex has a superpower. Her psychic ability allows her to see and feel other people's emotions, understand what they are going through, and help them overcome their difficulties. At first glance, her power seems highly inferior to Max's ability to rewind time or Daniel's telekinesis power. But being able to not only perceive other people's emotions, but actually hear their thoughts is incredibly powerful. The most outstanding element of True Colors isn't the gameplay or the story, it's the way you connect with the characters. The game is very slow-paced, and compared to the original Life is Strange, you might even call it uneventful. But what makes this game special is that it allows you to mirror Alex's empathy and her deep understanding of the people around her. I was fully immersed in the game. I quickly became fond of the townsfolk. I wanted to get to know them and experience their feelings. And being able to put yourself in their heads made this effortless. It's so easy to grow attached to them, especially to the ones you can date. Through incredibly well-written dialogues and very natural voice acting, the team managed to make the people feel real, relatable, and charming. To be honest, I'm not a fan of the original Life is Strange because I found much of the dialogue cringy and felt disconnected from the characters. I get the appeal, but it just wasn't for me. So, going into True Colors, I was very skeptical. But fortunately, Alex and the other characters are much more grounded and mature, which of course makes sense because they're young adults instead of teenagers. Alex is shy, quiet, and awkward at times, but also very likable, considerate, and extremely resilient. She's someone who went through a lot and reached a crossroad in her life, and I think many can relate to a character like her.
He doesn't know. No one will once I leave this place. I'll just be a normal girl in a normal town.
Apart from the excellent writing and voice acting, there's another thing that makes the characters feel like real people. While True Colors doesn't go for highly realistic graphics, it does have very detailed facial animations, at least for Alex. I was very surprised how many subtle facial expressions I was able to make out. A quick raise of the eyebrow, a slight smirk, emotions like disappointment, relief, and disbelief. I always knew exactly what she was thinking, which is great for a game that is all about empathy. Like in many narrative-driven games, choices are a main feature of True Colors. Because you feel so connected to the people of Haven Springs, everything that happens to them, every decision you have to make feels very important, and some choices are incredibly hard to make. Unfortunately, like in many games of this genre, the choices feel much more impactful than they actually are. Ultimately, most decisions only influence other people's lives and the way they view you, which might be more realistic considering the fact that you help people, but it doesn't exactly make for a gripping story. The game doesn't allow you to be smart. It will always lead you down the same path and only offers some minor variations when it comes to the mystery part of the narrative. There are excellent story-driven games out there that are completely linear, but if there are choices to be made, make them impactful. Make me feel proud or devastated about my decisions. Allow me to take risks and show me real consequences for my actions. Overall, the story is fine and has some great memorable moments like a special town event, but with such strong characters, it could have been so much better. My biggest gripe with the story is how the writers are inconsistent about Alex's power. I'm gonna be very vague about this for obvious reasons and just say that, considering her abilities, the events of Chapter 5 are highly unrealistic. Let's finally talk about the elephant in the room. True Colors looks amazing and is easily the most visually impressive game of the series. The cutscenes always present perfect angles that spotlight both the people and the cozy town of Haven Springs with its detailed and colorful surroundings. Undeniably, it's a very small area to explore. There's the main street with its shops, a bit of nature, and some more locations I don't want to spoil. But the vibrant town tends to undergo decorative changes. It's compelling to explore and there's a lot to interact with. In familiar fashion, Alex shares her thoughts about her surroundings and learns more about the location and its people. Some emotionally charged items have auras, and whenever Alex inspects them, she experiences memories of whoever it belonged to, and might even unlock new dialogue options. Occasionally, you will come across zen areas where Alex can sit down and relax while listening to the soundtrack that is once again full of indie gems. She can also check her phone and read SMS or social media entries that reveal even more about the residents of Haven Springs. True Colors is the second Life is Strange game from Deck 9, the people behind Before the Storm, and it's the first entry in the series where all chapters are available on release day. Depending on how much you want to explore, it will take you between 10 and 15 hours to finish the game. After each chapter, you will see the choices you made compared to your friends and all other players. And whenever you want to, you can replay any subchapter and either overwrite your decisions, start a new game from that point, or just check out what happens without changing anything. This way you can easily try out different choices and find collectibles that you might have missed. Unfortunately though, it's not possible to skip dialogues, so this might take a while. Other issues I had with the game are unnatural pauses between sentences, long loading screens, too frequent internal reminders, some crashes, and the price that I think is way too steep. Life is Strange True Colors is a highly immersive game that is great for both veterans and newcomers to the series. While the story suffers from inconsistencies and choices that are not as impactful as they might seem, it's still a delight to experience the beautiful setting, charming characters, great animations, amazing voice acting, and a superpower that lets you walk in other people's shoes. Thank you very much for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below.